welcome to 100 Trades in Review, episode number 13. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a trade by Jude. We're going to see if he gets one of these or one of these for his trade. But before we get into that, again, let's talk about Chart Raiders. Chart Raiders is a program that I've been working on for a solid 2 years now. It's going to launch one day. Nobody knows when. I always say soon, but we'll see. One day it'll launch, and it's going to change everything about your life. It's going to make you taller. It's going to make you fitter. It's going to make coins rain from the sky. It's going to give you happiness that you've never had before. Your groceries will be through the roof, stacked to the ceiling. All your fridges will be full in your house. You'll have freezers. You'll even have deers and wolves coming to you from the forest when you go for a walk. That's how good Chart Raiders is. Let's now talk about the trade from Jude.
Okay, so Bitcoin is kind of just going sideways and hanging about in this range here. So I think it can pull back a little bit and come to trend. So I've decided to trade some altcoins, and I've just got filled
altcoin trading, cool.
On AVAX, Avalanche, on the back test of a trend, but it also lined up with this 4-hour rejection here.
So what I'm looking for in this trade right now off the bat is for Jude to start talking about why he should be buying this altcoin based on Bitcoin's chart, because altcoins follow Bitcoin religiously. If Bitcoin is moving up, altcoins are moving up. If Bitcoin's moving down, altcoins are moving down. If Bitcoin's stuck in a range after accumulation, you'll see those altcoins run. And if it's stuck in a range after distribution, you'll also see them sink. So I would really like to see what he is coordinating this with Bitcoin. But as long as he's doing that, maybe he's doing it on a side chart. I haven't heard him mention it yet, but let's take a listen.
And this hourly hold level, so I want to see it create the range trend here. There's a lot of stuff working for it here, and this trend is a pretty big trend, so I'm not putting a lot of theory on the fact that this is a backtest of trend. However, this is quite a large trend that I'm using all the way from up here on the weekly that's been holding this down for the past few weeks, and so it's come back to my entry a few times.
Okay,
we're still
okay, good. He's in the trade.
Literally only just took the entry on this trade. So
can we get some information about his trade here? Let's see, what kind of leverage is he using? Let's just see what we can do. Can we find it anywhere? Oh, 100x, it's in the bottom corner. There we go. So I'm just going to turn off my camera here. Oh, you guys can't see that here. Let me adjust the camera real quick for everybody. You can see he's in 100x long down in this bottom corner here. So cool. He's in a little 100xer right now. All right, let's see where this thing goes.
Okay, so we're back. I actually got stopped out on this trade. So my initial entry was here, and when this move happened, I got stopped out break even. Now this ended up just kind of going sideways for quite a while here.
That sucks.
And then once the move came down here, it really looked like the levels were holding, and I took a re-entry after this 1 minute hit in and around here. So we're back in the trade. It's not anywhere near as good of an entry as we did have before.
That's okay.
But I started to see that this was likely going to play out.
Okay, so I want to talk about this for a second. So this is a really great heads up play by Jude. So now, yes, in hindsight, he could have stayed in his trade, and this time it worked out. But I think when you have a level like that, you've had your trade entered, you have to kind of mark on your chart. And this is what I like about Jude's trade is he's marked this on his chart where the break of the move is going to happen. And if it hits that break, you have to be very mindful of that trade. Like your risk starts to pile up. So it's not necessarily about, yes, I made a mistake because I exited the trade and then it moved up. I think it's more of a question of, hey, I'm a good day trader, or I shouldn't say a question, but a statement saying that I'm a good day trader. I've recognized and identified where this move is going to break down. It hit that level. I can still exit this break even before it dumps. And if you take that and that scenario happens and you protect your account capital every single time, you're going to be left with nothing but a neutral position. If you hold those trades, you're going to be left a lot of the times with a negative position. You're just risking way too much account capital to hold those trades, especially after a hold level's been hit. It's held and then it moves down and hits the break on top of hitting that hold level. So it hits the hold, hits the break, and you're just left with the decision of crossing your fingers and staying in the trade, or exiting the trade like Jude did and then taking re-entry once you see it's in succession. The scenario where you exit what Jude did, you've just reduced all risk, and all you're saying is, I know this move is going to go up now because we've held the move and we've created our hold level. I'm willing to take 10% less profits to always protect my entry. So instead of losing 50% sometimes or most of the times, I'm willing to just give 10% of my profits on the way up, because if the move develops and holds and has these hold levels after hitting the levels on the bottom, like on Jude's scenario here where he entered, and we can go back and highlight that for a second. So he entered somewhere around one of these hold levels here. I'm not exactly sure which one. Let's maybe try to find it here. I think he said he entered, right here down on this hold level. All he's doing is he's giving up 10% of his total profits and having a a guaranteed profit position instead of taking the risk of all the stuff down here where it could be dumping. Like instead of holding through this where, 7 out of 8 times it is going to dump, and then you're just kind of left holding this minus 20 position constantly all day long. You minus 20, minus 20, minus 20, and then you make 100 and really you only made 40% and you're sitting there frustrated. He's just giving up 10% on the top. So instead of getting minus 20, minus 20, minus 20 a bunch of times, he's just saying, I'm going to make 160%, but I have to give up 10%. Now I'll make 150 or 40 or 30 or whatever it is. I'm only guessing 150 because I see how much this thing moved up after he was talking about it there. So let's see exactly where we left off with Jude here.
Near as good of an entry as we did have before, but I started to see
quality of trade over quality of entry,
just due to developing all of these levels to gain and having a better chance at creating this trend too.
Yeah, I like that. So he's got an interior range trend. So I'm really thinking that with this trend, what should happen here is I'm thinking that, okay, it did test a second time. I'm thinking he should exit that trend there and then try to go for a rebuy somewhere, down in here, like maybe down right here or even down back at entry. You might be just better off playing this trend again, or maybe even the break of the move, which is the 4. So like just ladder this at the highest level. So like 13,120 might be the re-entry here. I'd have to do the chart myself to see, but I would just like to see if you create a trend and you hit it again like that and start getting under this hold level, you got to take your profits here. Yeah, maybe like down here at this hold level or even down back on that 4 might be okay. I think the 4 hour is okay. Oh, wow. It sunk right below it.
Ooh, that was close.
Almost like a flash dump. Oh, wow. And it's pumping like crazy.
I am still in the trade.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I missed that completely.
Luckily, I'm not stopped out and I am still in the trade.
Okay, so he's not stopped up, but he could have got a perfect re-entry here. Okay, all right, that's fine. Still in his trade. As long as you make profits is good, but I think you could have made 2 trades here. I don't necessarily know if a short is the right play, but anyways, the re-long is okay, I think. Wow, that's a crazy bounce. See if this thing can hold. I mean, at least you would have locked up profits and you'd be in the second trade, but nor here nor there. The point is if you make money on the trade. So let's just see what happens here. Okay, let's see some action here, Jude. What do we got going on? Looks like the move is trying to move down below its level again, but I think we're kind of skipping around timeframes here a bit. So we're just getting the information sped up for us. That's what it looks like he's submitted this video as. But okay, it looks like his move is going up. So I think 13,377 is his target. He hasn't said anything otherwise, and I don't see any levels up top that are kind of untested. So let's take a look here. He should be out of the trade, or it's very close to his exit. But I mean, he should
profit 150%.
Okay,
I stuck to my setup. I got a re-entry, even though I got stopped out break even at the start when the setup developed better. Still got that re-entry, stayed in the trade even through the pullbacks, and believed in my target, and it hit perfectly. Okay, so
yeah, I mean, I think Jude did great risk assessment here. I think he did great risk management. Although he could have made more money on the trade, he also diminished all his losses. So if you're just constantly diminishing your losses down to nothing, and you're always taking these trades where if you hit the break of a move, you can simply exit and re-enter once it's in succession. I think that's a great play, and he definitely gets one of these from me. Great job, and one of these as well. Account up, happy face. Let's go. Let's do it. But I think the big other lesson here that might have gotten overshadowed or misinterpreted or miscited or whatever you want to call it is that he had this move up and he created a trend, and the trend hit a second time. And after that trend hits, it pulls the move back, right? Like, let's go take a look at that real quick because I think that's a pretty important piece of this trade. Just hit play here, try to find the spot.
Trade.
Okay, so his trend isn't created yet. Looks like his trend isn't hit. There it is right there. So like, I think once you're in this move, you've created trend interior, you've hit it again a second time, and you start closing below these levels. I think like below this inverse, I think once you do that, like you need to get out of this trade. And again, it just sinks right after. So that would be my only criticism on the trade. You hit trend twice, maybe take a re-entry, but small peanuts because you made 150%. So great job, Jude.